Absolutely. I would recommend you, absolutely, because of my experience with you is that you've listened to the concerns that I had when I wasn't, out of my own ignorance and inexperience, when I wasn't really getting it yourself.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background and what you do for a living?
I was raised in the restaurant business in Florida. My dad was moved from Alabama to Florida in 1932 during the Great Depression. So I learned how to work hard and went to school, went to college, built a restaurant business with my brother for 20 years. And out of the popularity of the restaurant, I was drafted, so to speak, to run for the state legislature and spent 6 years in the Florida House. Eventually, we sold the restaurant, and I did a couple other things in public service. I ran the elections office in Tampa, Florida. I ran the division of real estate for a couple of years, and I practice real estate as a realtor right now.
What made you want to get into decentralized finance specifically?
I mentioned to you that I've worked hard all my life and kind of traded time for dollars, and the restaurant business is really that way. And my business, while it was very successful in terms of popularity and top line numbers, we really never learned that much about money. So I began to look at opportunities to develop passive income, and I took some courses in trading stocks. And I could show you all the scars on my back where I have learned about stock trading and futures trading. And then I was looking for something in crypto. A friend of mine, 5, 6 years ago, back when I should have bought Bitcoin, was trying to talk me into buying some. I didn't. And then one day I was looking online and I saw Tan and Salim's article, and I was taken with his sincerity and his authenticity, quite frankly, and how he started with a few $1,000s and took it to a pretty good amount. A lot of that stuff on the internet, but somehow his approach seemed to capture my attention. So I called in and had a very nice conversation with Valerie, who was very helpful, and I'm very happy with the direction that I'm headed. So that's how I really found Tan's piece on the internet, and was, in spite of the fact that I'd had bad experience in futures trading with the stock market, and in spite of the fact that it was probably out of my budget, I decided just to go with it, and I'm glad that I did.
What made you feel comfortable entering into a partnership with decentralized masters?
So, if I had to say in a nutshell, what kind of flipped the switch for me to move past the initial impression of Tan on the video to actually writing a check, all of your people along the way. And I talked to Valerie, and she was very knowledgeable about the system, even as a salesperson. And she was also herself involved in crypto. That was impressive. I wasn't talking to a call center. And since I've been involved, I've talked to Valerie again. I said, "Do you remember when you told me this about this was going to happen? It didn't seem like it's exactly that way." And she worked with me and explained to me, and I'm very comfortable with those moments of growth. So Valerie gave me the confidence, and then my mentor Anakin was very good to listen. Quite frankly, you and many of the mentors, John, Hugo, AJ, all of them are very, very good and communicate that you really want us to learn this stuff as opposed just to take our money.
Would you say your investment into decentralized masters has been worth it from a monetary perspective?
Well, yeah, I think the material, the wealth of knowledge in a completely new system is there in decentralized masters, and it's, but the good part about DM is that you have worked with me on my particular learning style and my hiccups, if you will. I got off to kind of a slow start because I was doing it wrong, and as you evolve as a company, you've helped me evolve as a customer, and that's really what I appreciate most about DM, is your sensitivity to what I needed.
Would you recommend decentralized masters to someone who's thinking about joining?
Absolutely, I would recommend you, absolutely, because of my experience with you is that you've listened to the concerns that I had when I wasn't, out of my own ignorance and inexperience, when I wasn't really getting it yourself. Anakin, Valerie, Troy, the director of membership, been very sensitive to my thoughts and questions, and you've demonstrated that you care about your students, and to me that's the most. And you've got very competent mentors, and staff people. And I believe Tan and Salim, what I've seen on them on the monthly calls has been very genuine, very authentic, and you can't really ask for much more than that.